So this is interesting because this is something I'm actually kind of surprised to be hearing. So yeah, and granted, I don't work on the legal side of things, and neither of us do. But so I guess my first question is, what are you defining as a refugee? And the reason why I asked you what you're calling a refugee is because it's a term that gets thrown around a lot for anybody who's fleeing their house, their home country. Okay, but it's a very specific legal definition.
It's a status,
right? Yeah. And it's a status, and so the way it works is, let's say I'm in Cambodia and I'm fleeing violence, all right, and I go to Thailand, some close by country, to seek refuge, right? In that, what we call second party country, that's where they're going to legally confer you status as a refugee. So it's not something that you can just, and I'll get into what they're called when they do this separate process. But in that separate country, different bodies, the State Department, the UN, the IRC, international team, they'll go around and basically give you legal status as a refugee. It's like 9 or 10 different security checks. There's just a ton of paperwork.
It's a long process.
A very long process. The reason why it's important is because when a refugee gets here, they're considered a legal permanent resident. After 1 year, they can get their green card. After 5, they can get citizenship. So it's pretty rare that somebody who has a legal status as a refugee, you can renew your green card indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's
and that happens sometimes if people can't. There's issues that come up and they just have to keep doing that. But
yeah. But it's not. It doesn't happen. I think, and I don't know the stats on this, so this might be something worth looking up. And I know that they don't have to because my boss never got a citizenship. But and once they're a citizen, I mean, they wouldn't ever be deported out of who they are and what their heritage is, because I think it makes our country better to have a variety of opinions and cultures. So similarly, I think it's a hot word, but what I would say is it is hard for them to necessarily figure out how to navigate the incredible bureaucracy that is America. So what I primarily do, so Catherine sees them, she gets to be a teacher, and they all really love her. Not all.
One obstacle or barrier that Ethan and I have come up with a lot, and Lisa, is that it's great if you have, even if someone doesn't speak a lot of English, if they're younger and they're like physically able to do manual labor, fine, not a problem. They can work in a kitchen, a dishwasher, stocking at a grocery store. But if they're older and they have health problems and really low English, we have a few of people like that right now, it's really difficult because they can't do manual labor and their English isn't good enough to do something like a cashier position where they aren't moving so much. So we always tell them too, the fastest way to improve your English is to start working, because it will improve faster than any class will improve your English. I think 4 or 5 stages emotionally that refugees go through when they come. There's like one where they're really excited to be here and it's like exciting, and then there's the stage where they kind of realize the reality they're in and that it's going to be really difficult being here, and then steps later they're a little more acclimated and are able to reestablish themselves. But I mean, the biggest challenge is people with PhDs or masters who come here and it means nothing. Like, they can't transfer. They worked as a doctor or an engineer for 5 years, and all of a sudden they're here and this 23-year-old's telling them what to do, and they're like, I have more life experience than you, and I'm telling them they have to start working at a restaurant, or Ethan is telling them that, or Lisa. And so that's really hard to deliver that information to someone. But at the same time, when you have clients who start working, and I mean, we had to call clients from about 3 or 4 years ago to try to re-enroll people to get our numbers up, and it was awesome because a lot of the people we spoke with are like, oh, I can't actually re-enroll, I'm in school now, I'm getting my degree, I'm working. And so that's really encouraging because we see it in the moments when they're really stressed in first year, but years later, it's cool to see where a lot of these people